anybody who says the ACC tournament should be anywhere but Greensboro, one, hasn't attended multiple ACC tournaments in other venues. Two, or you're a Syracuse, you're a Pitt, you're an old Big East fan. The ACC tournament belongs in Greensboro and only Greensboro, North Carolina. The tradition, the history behind it, and the people saying otherwise, that's the problem with college sports right now and college football is because you have these organizations that are like money, 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 entertainment, all this bullcrap. No. The history and tradition is what makes it so special. If you've been to a Greensboro ACC tournament, you can feel how special it is. The town rolls out the red carpet for it. It is truly tournament town in all aspects of it. And the other thing is, people say, oh, it should be in D.C., it should be in New York, it should be in Charlotte. That's if saying it should be in Charlotte is like saying, oh, it's tough to get to the Masters. It's tough to get to Augusta, Georgia. They should move it to Atlanta where it's easier to get to that airport instead. That's the dumbest argument. That's like saying they should move the Rose Bowl to SoFi Stadium because, it's newer and nicer and, it's easier to get to because it's closer to LAX. I don't care it's harder to get to. It's where it is and it's where it's supposed to be. And that's the point of it. That's what makes it so special. And so I had to get that point across because it pissed me off because, look, you wouldn't move those certain places. That is what makes it special. That's like saying the Big East tournament should be in D.C. because there's teams. Georgetown's down there. Butler, is joining the Big East or whatever. It's like, no, it's Madison Square Garden.
I agree.
Sorry about that. I had to get that.
No,
I could have recorded that separately.
That's such a thing about like college sports that we're just completely losing is that it's about the history. And I think that's where we're just getting a lot of this stuff wrong when it comes to the decision makers, because I think that a lot of this stuff, it should be local. It should be what it's always been, or at least make an attempt. And it's so fitting too that you mentioned that, because it's like, whenever I hear Greensboro, I just think instantly of Jim Boeheim. And then what's funny is his career ends in that arena.
A kid
it's incredible.
From Winston-Salem hitting a buzzer beater right there. I was
incredible.
there. I flew from Salt Lake City, Utah, back to Greensboro to retire Jim Boeheim myself in person. One of maybe my greatest hate watch in history.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that's where just conferences get it wrong. And the Big Ten should be in Indianapolis. And that's why I like about the SEC tournament. I think it's always been in Nashville. I think they had 1 year where it was in Tampa.
They switch between Tampa and Atlanta sometimes.
Yeah, and it's like it works better in where it's supposed to be, And it's like and also there's a magic to it. It's like once it clicks, why would you change it up? Just stick to it. It's what people,
That's what I'm saying. Like the Big East, what makes the Big East tournament so special? To be honest, I think the Big East would lose so much steam if they played it in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Absolutely. It would lose all the characters and all how awesome it is and everything. Because it does. I mean, at least like the Big 12 hasn't been a historically great conference, because usually the Big 12 tournament's the Kansas Jayhawk Invitational, and for 10, 15 years. But in 10, 15 years from now, we're going to think if they stay with Kansas City, it's going to be like, oh, that's just what it is. There's tradition. There's history behind this tournament staying and being nowhere other than Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah, and that's where we're losing it with college sports. It's like the sense of normalcy is just, it keeps fading, and I don't know why, because I think that things are just becoming even more convoluted. So it's like when you can find a sense of normalcy with something like that, it's a very easy win. You just stick to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, Karter. I understand that you're from that area, so like it even hits home a little bit more for you.
Shout out
Kernersville. It's like, stick to what works.